Hello, and welcome to Unsheathed with your hosts, Kyle Gold and Cam Hirosaki. We hope that you enjoy the program. Please stick around afterwards. There'll be cake and blowjobs.
Hi, welcome to Unsheathed, episode number 21. We're all legal.
Yeah, officially.
I'm Kyle Gold.
I'm Cam Hirosaki, enjoying my 21st pod day with a glass of port.
And we have in our redecorated, especially extra comfortable, undisclosed mountain bunker location, a special guest.
I'm the eternally sober, not tube.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's how you can tell that you're not tube, because that tube is a lush.
That's why we never invite him around to parties.
Well, I just don't like him.
Well, you wouldn't. You're like matter and antimatter. Yes,
if we combine, there'll be an explosion.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So we got...
You folks at home missed the coy eyebrow waggle that came with that statement.
As only an otter can. I'm again in a mountain bunker with two otters. Unfortunately, I have my tech-savvy wolf to protect me from their ottery ways.
Your virgin eyes.
Oh, darling, I haven't had those in about 20-some years.
Consider that last episode we were recording while looking at porn.
Yes.
Did you have eye sex with someone?
Last week we did. But we got the holidays coming up here. And we had a distinct lack of any email from people interested in talking about the holidays. So we're going to talk about them a little bit anyway. Just in terms of story writing, I've written a couple Christmas stories but at least one that wasn't really so much a Christmas story, just kind of took place around Christmas. But the other one really played on family tensions. And, you know, the holidays are a great time for adult kids to come back to their families and really bring together all the tension there and have things explode.
And I have two silly Christmas stories. I don't know if I posted the one I wrote. No, I did write that one. Or posted. Have I posted two Christmas stories or one? I don't even remember.
Was that the one with the trying to find a present for the one?
So you're thinking of Gift of the Magi?
Oh, yeah. That was that one where the husband bought the tail comb for his wife and she cut off a tail to feed their baby or something.
Why do babies eat tails? We just don't know.
It's just one of those things from the olden days, you know, like plum pudding. You know, it's not really survived in its true form down to us.
I'm glad our technology has advanced.
I am too.
Thanks to technology, we get to bring this conversation to you at home.
Where you're no doubt enjoying your own traditional tail candy.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I wish I was that fox. No, wait.
You are that fox.
I am.
Hooray!
It's so good you sometimes forget.
Hooray for Zoidberg. Oh, boy. I'm a little tired tonight. I apologize. See y'all.
We'll just take advantage of it.
Yes, and you already are. So we have one NaNoWriMo email that came in a little bit late, and we have one relationship email. And we're going to read those, and then we have an email that we have been horrifically neglectful of, which has been sitting around since September, which was a very well-thought-out long email, and we're going to go through that one. I guess I start.
Okay.
So this one is from Condrell again. He says, "Hello again. You asked in your previous episode for comments from writers who have had relationships with people who don't read or enjoy their writing. I had to pause the show to write this because that's exactly the situation I'm in now. My husband and I have been together for 8 years, just over 3 of those married thanks to UK gay marriage laws. They're so much more advanced over there, despite the fact that they have plum pudding and tail eating and whatnot. And in that time, he's read perhaps 1 out of every 10 of my stories. It's not that he doesn't read, it's just that he doesn't seem to enjoy reading my stuff. It's difficult, but maybe not as difficult as you'd imagine. Don't get me wrong, I'd be absolutely overjoyed if he enjoyed my writing as much as I enjoy creating it, but you simply can't infect someone with interest. I appreciate, in fact, that he doesn't patronize me by pretending. Everyone's had someone, a mom, a grandmother, a loved one, etc., who believes it's beneficial to encourage no matter how poor the piece. Instead, I live for those rare, extremely rare these days, moments when my husband reads over something I've done and really, truly likes it. It's better by far than the combination of every half-hearted approval, cursory glance, and "that's nice" I've ever received. It does mean, though, that I find myself lacking a reliable source of editing and motivation. Sadly, the majority of constructive feedback I've ever had has come from random comments on Yifstar or FA. Review, my kingdom for peer review. I don't think it's sad that the majority of your constructive feedback comes from Yifstar or FA. There's more people on FA, I would say, than Yifstar, but a lot of people out there do read thoughtfully, and they'll tell you exactly what they like and don't like about the stories. On Yifstar, it tends to be mostly, well, that story appealed to my particular fetish, but on FA, people actually, there's a community of writers on FA who actually, get out there and try to give feedback.
And actually, I've found a lot of good feedback on Yifstar myself, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that, the people who follow my stuff, though, are kind of not all that fetishy porny anyway. But I get a lot of comments from people who just sort of stumble across my stuff, and I don't know, I guess they're happy enough that that's not what they find, that they are motivated to say something more than I came. So,
don't get me wrong, I've gotten some good, thoughtful comments on Yifstar, but I'm just saying, it tends to be, I find it more on FA. I don't know what NotTube's experience has been. Well,
I've only written the one, and it went into a book and went out into the ether. And, yeah. So I know Tube writes some stuff, but it's all fetishy. And actually, if you write good fetish stuff, you get good comments too.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
People are happy to find something in that genre that is actually entertaining to read.
I guess I'm just saying, people are really quick to discount Yifstar and FA as sources of commentary and critique, but there's a lot of people on there that are trying real hard to do it.
Just because those sites are full of bad stories doesn't mean they don't have good readers.
Exactly. Well put. Why don't you go on and read another email since you've been so good?
Well, we haven't addressed the point about the whole husband not liking the writing.
Well, he didn't really ask a question. I don't know. Did you have comments about it?
That's a deal breaker, ladies.
Oh, not to bring in the 30 Rock.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, I think that that's, kind of a shame. He says at this one point that you can't infect someone with interest. And on the one sense, that's true. I do think that if you have a piece that you're particularly proud of, I think you should be able to say, hi, would you please read this? It would mean a lot for me to know what you think. If you've been with somebody for 8 years, I think that you're in a position that you should be able to ask that.
Yeah, but I kind of see the problem where if you're pushing it on someone, like, Kit's much more into wine than I am. And if he found a variety of wine that he really liked and said, I really want you to taste this, I really want to know what you think of it, I would taste it, but I'm not going to be able to offer any kind of constructive feedback like, wow, that's really good, or wow, that's not really good, because I don't have the breadth of experience to be able to contribute to that. So, you could write a story that you really like and want your partner to read it, but if it's not something he's already enthusiastic about, then what you're going to get is, you're going to force him to sit down, and, I don't know.
I will say, I know that can be disappointing, but also, in the interest of not taking it personally, just like, I have a lot of movies at home, and some of them I've bought because I found them cheap, and there are movies that I really, really wanted to watch, but I've never seen them because I own them, and I think I can watch that anytime. It's for some reason, it's harder to get around to doing things that you want to do if it's really convenient. It's like New Yorkers living in New York City and not going to Statue of Liberty.
Right, or living out in the Bay Area and not visiting Alcatraz.
Well, I've been 4 times.
I lived in the area for like 5 years.
I've been at least once.
I worked in San Francisco for like 4 years before I saw the Golden Gate Bridge with my own eyes.
How did you even do that? You can see it from like everywhere in San Francisco.
I work on the exact opposite end of San Francisco from where the bridge is. Bridges in the northwest. I work in the southeast.
But yeah, that's a good point too, and well taken. And I guess I didn't have that much to say about it because I think it sounded like he's making it work. Like he's disappointed, but for him that's not a deal breaker.
That's clearly they haven't broken up after 8 years. If it were a deal breaker, it would have come up long before now.
Right.
But okay, so yeah, I will move on to this is from Kite Phoenix.
Hey, Kite Phoenix.
He says, okay, so not everything went exactly as I had planned it to last month, November, which was NaNoWriMo. Basically, I ended up with some part-time work which effectively killed off all my free time, so instead of managing to get squat done on this little project, it ended up getting pushed so far onto the back burner it's a little ridiculous. It was basically a case of, I can write, but if I write, I'm going to be totally ignoring someone important to me, and I just can't do that. So because I do still intend to go through this whole 50,000 words in 30 days thing, I'm just shifting the timeline for myself personally. Yay for being responsible for your own projects. So yes, now it's time for It's Not NaNoWriMo. Same rules are going to apply, including the weird one I set for myself. Namely this whole, if you send me in an idea, any item or anything you want, I will put it into the novel. It's just not going to be set in November. So P.S. Since you asked, and no, you can't change your ideas, but you can add more if you want, my story is being set in a modern-day university. Which makes... I was the one who suggested the 50s-style Fennec airplane mechanic, so good luck fitting that one in there.
I think you could have him as like a cosplayer. Like he's really into steampunk or whatever, so he sort of dresses up as a 50s airplane mechanic, and that's his thing.
Okay.
I used air quotes for thing.
Oh, yeah, I can dig that. It's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
At least to me it is.
I mean, Fennec Fox airplane mechanic is sexy anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But is it more sexy if it's a guy pretending to be a 50s airplane mechanic, or if it really is?
Well, that depends on why he's dressing up.
Okay, he's not dressing up because of a serious mental disorder.
I mean, if it's like a bedroom roleplay thing, his, partner really wants to have sex with a 50s airplane mechanic, and so he dresses up like that, that's kind of hot.
So he's like the keto drawing on his wall?
Damn, now I need porn on my wall and a Fennec Fox boyfriend. I'm 2 steps away from happiness.
Well, the porn on the wall is easy.
Okay. 1 out of 2 ain't... That's not how that song goes.
No, it ain't.
Damn it.
Sorry. But, kudos to you for keeping up the project. As we said last week, just because the calendar rolled over to December doesn't mean you have to stop writing. And the whole point of NaNoWriMo is to get you motivated to write and to keep writing. And I think, personally, for me, I think the point of NaNoWriMo is to get to the point where you don't have to participate in it anymore. That it's really a motivational tool, and that it should get you to the point that you're just writing all the time, or at least as much as you want to be. That you don't need that kick to get you started, and you shouldn't stop when it's over. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've never done NaNoWriMo, nor written a novel, so... but it sounds good to me. I'm for it.
All right.
Anything you can use as motivation, you should use as motivation.
Sort of like self-flagellation of the soul.
In what way is this thought?
So I'm kind of curious now, because we did have a bunch of people that were going to do NaNoWriMo, and there's a bunch of writers out there. So what do you guys out there, you guys who are listening, what do you use for motivation? Because we've talked about our motivations a bit on this show, and we can talk about it a little more when some of the letters come in, but what do you use as motivation to write? How do you motivate yourself? Write us in, let us know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that.
And on the topic of writing guidelines, we'll let Not To read this letter, which is, we apologize that it's been sitting around for so long. This is from Blender, who's a cool guy. And
he's a good writer.
Good writer and a good artist.
Hey guys, I've been listening to your podcast since the first episode, and I think you finally found a comfortable groove. The show is funny, easy to listen to, and best of all, informative. While I've only written a few stories with animal characters, I do a lot of writing outside the fandom, so I've enjoyed your broader advice on characters, plot, and storytelling in general. On top of that, I'm a fan of both of you, so there's the stalker factor as well, winky face. In all seriousness, I found your advice relevant to all kinds of fiction writing, and I enjoy listening to your banter. All the haters can talk to the hand. I don't have a question for you. It's actually a delayed response to a question you received in the second episode. A listener asked for some book recommendations to help with grammar and style, but you seemed unsure where to point him. Don't me wrong, Elements of Style is a classic, but I thought I might offer a few contemporary recommendations. 1. A Pocket Style Manual by Diana Hacker is the best reference text on English mechanics in print today. I realize that's a bold statement, but trust me, I have read countless wannabes during my college years. It's actually a condensed version of Hacker's more comprehensive textbook, A Writer's Reference, but that's what makes it perfect for both new and experienced writers. It's cute, spiral-bound, and easy to take with you. Everything is tabbed for quick reference. This was my Bible in college. I still keep it handy for those times I confuse whoever with whomever. 2. Elmore Leonard's 10 Rules of Writing is a quick read. Seriously, you can breeze through the whole thing in 5 minutes or less at Barnes & Noble. It's fully illustrated, with each rule separated into its own page like a storybook. It's worth owning a copy because it's funny, enlightening, and ideal for pulling off your bookshelf whenever you need a quick shot of inspiration. His best advice is, try to leave out the parts that readers tend to skip. So simple, yet so true.
Oh, Elmore Leonard.
3. On Writing by Stephen King starts off as a memoir, but a great deal of the book is addressed to aspiring writers. He itemizes what a writer should keep in his toolbox and expounds on a number of his grammatical pet peeves, especially the overuse of adverbs. He also emphasizes the importance of reading for pleasure. In his words, if you don't have time to read, you don't have the time or the tools to write. So with that, I should run off and go read something. In the meantime, keep up the good work. Maybe someday I'll write in with an actual question. Namaste, Blender.
And we promise if you do write in with an actual question, we will read it in less than 3 months.
Like I said, this is a delayed response to a
Yes.
question from the second episode, and this is our very
And this is a delayed reading of a
that
delayed response.
But we might not read it in less than 3 minutes. That was long, Blender.
That was, but I will say I've not read the first one, but I have seen Elmore Leonard's 10 Rules of Writing condensed into just the 10 rules.
Right.
And those are great. Elmore Leonard, if you guys don't know who he is the writer of Get Shorty and Rum Punch and Be Cool. Rum Punch is what... didn't he write Jackie Brown, or the book that Jackie Brown was based on?
Did he? I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Rum Punch was turned into a movie, but I can't remember which movie it was. But he wrote Get Shorty. He's very much about the punchy sentences, great dialogue, great characters, stuff like that. And and his 10 rules, I don't remember them offhand, but I remember thinking they were great. And Stephen King's On Writing, we've talked about before. It's a great book.
Yeah,
And
I think at one point you said, like, let's stop getting down on our knees in front of Stephen King.
did I say that?
We do tend to do that a lot, but it's worth pointing out.
Stephen King, if you ever listen to this, you are welcome to come on our podcast anytime.
Yeah, seriously. If you can find our mountain bunker, there might be some sort of strange adventure in it for you.
There will at least be some kind of quality alcohol. We can guarantee that. Because we have a tech-savvy wolf and a wine-savvy wolf as well. Yeah, those are great recommendations. I'll have to check out that Pocket Style Manual. And you guys should check out Blender's site, too, because he's on Furfinity as just Blender, like the kitchen appliance. And he does great comics, and I've enjoyed what writing I've read of his as well.
He gets a lot of wry smiles out of me.
Yes. I actually thought his the work of his that sticks in my head the most was the Dog's Days of Summer mashup with The Big Lebowski.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. It was
really awesome. But kind of in that vein, Not Tube and myself did a couple workshop writing exercises recently, which were writing pieces with an ear toward the sound and cadence and rhythm of the words. And so these are pieces that are meant to be read aloud, meant to be listened to and enjoyed. And since we have Not Tube here as a special guest, we thought it might be nice to read the exercises we did on this podcast. And we have tasked our other otter friend with writing his exercise for the next one.
Okay. I can do that.
You better.
I shall.
I won't be here to bring repercussions, so that'll have to fall to you.
I will do my best. I always try to keep this otter in line.
Ooh.
I'm imagining the line now.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a very straight one.
No, it's curvy.
It's very curvy. And slinky.
But definitely not straight.
No.
So why don't you go ahead and read yours, and then I'll read mine.
No.
Since
All
you
right.
made me read mine first earlier.
These weren't supposed to make sense, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
All right. In pale and bare rooms he slept and sat and ate and paced, and looked out of glass at eyes that stared back and fingers that tapped on his pains. There was grass and cold stone that grew hot in the sun, and small trees and fresh meat once a day. On dry days when the crowd was loud, and kids screamed and growled at him and left smears of oil on the glass, he would not say his glass. Then there was too much pain to think of days gone, and he would curl in the shade and wait. But in the cold night, when the stone bit through his fur, he would dream. He would remember when he was the wild firecat. He chewed through the jungle rapaciously. The sinews of his thighs were coiled serpents. He bounded, he pounced. He satiated his round stomach with gasping ibis and succulent quail and plump peacock, gorged on wild boar and supped on civet. His world was windowless. He splashed into intimate streams where gavial lurked and chased them onto gritty, glittering beaches. He sprawled below fronds under midday sun and listened to the defiant cries of the drongo and the susurrus of the leaves. He would slumber concealed until awakened by the shrill beat of the dusk insects, rousing him to prowl. But here there were bugs to wake him, to tear him from his dream, to leave him to stare under the cold moon at new walls. They kept him. They looked like stone, but they reeked with the burn and stink of paint, and the wax from the hands of meat, of apes, that shrieked and stared, but that he could not catch.
Very nice.
That is very nice. That was actually better the second time I heard it.
So, just rewind and play it again, and yeah.
And there you go. Close your
Do it
eyes while
yourself,
listening.
kid at home.
Exactly.
You're laughing at
I don't know what he's laughing at.
Do-it-yourself kid at home.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were laughing at.
I don't know if I like that. I've not approved this franchise.
Maybe
You
Blender
got
can
one,
write a
why
comic
shouldn't we?
about it.
What?
Maybe Blender can write a comic about it.
Don't give him ideas.
Isn't that what our show is about?
Damn you. Damn otters ganging up on a fox.
Now you're giving me ideas. I will take them home with me tonight.
You should.
I fully intend to.
I can't force you to leave him here.
If you did, who knows what they'd get up to?
Right. Those ideas on their own can be get up to some
You wrote a
serious
story
trouble.
about that?
I did.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was. There was a snow leopard in it.
And about, yeah,
I really only said that to make you squirm.
yeah, it worked.
You started making him make animal noises, so I think,
Yeah.
success.
Anytime you can do that. Of course, it's not hard with otters.
That's debatable.
Yes, it is.
Oh, poor Kit. All right, I'm going to read my
He's
writing
mad at us
exercise so
now.
we can wrap this up. So this was my exercise. The hiss and splash. The rain comes down in sheets and showers, soaking the ground. Flora squishes her feet through the soft slime, splashing and sliding with glee, little soaked-through arms waving, wet wash-rag of a tail slapping happily behind her. It's a gray day, but her baby blues are bright, though her ears fold down against the showers and the water drops spray from her whiskers. She is a streak of red and white, gathering henna from the clay ground. The black of her forepaws turns shiny sienna from runs through the playground, back and forth like a flash through the frame of the window. Russet wood borders the window, kitchen lights picking the nicks and marks of years from the flowing grain. Karen's eyes flick from the frame to the glass, so flat and clear it could be a screen showing home movies, flicks of rain like specks of age on the film. Her paws are sleek with murky water, moving deliberately across plates and bowls in a loop, a rinse, scrub, rinse, next, that is second nature to her. The hot water hisses over her fingers, splashes against the cold plate, while her eyes are outside, darting through the rain, bright splashes of color playing in the window frame.
All mimsy grows and the mome rasps out crave.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son. I have to put on my Jim Dale reading voice for that.
Hear you say the word cock in your Jim Dale voice.
You can just go back to Unsheathed Presents #1 for that. Rewind. Repeat. And I think that's our...
Very nice, by the way. Just saying.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
very,
you.
very pretty.
It falls lightly
It was-
upon the ear.
It was not at all done at the last minute. It was planned way, way, way in advance.
Note to self, this is what it sounds like when Kyle plans.
It's not as funny if you're not typing.
I was gonna say, isn't that a song by Prince?
Do doves cry when Kyle plans? not.
No, people cry when I write stuff.
I'm
though.
slow with these otter jokes. I don't get them.
It's utterly baffling.
Perverse and often baffling.
So I would just like to say that not Jacoby is also in the room, and he now hates Kyle.
Weren't you the one who said that puns were the fart jokes of the 1800s or the 1700s?
Of the intellectuals, yes.
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 Well, anyway, so those were a couple writing exercises. If you're interested in trying something like that, the idea was write something without so much worrying about plot, without worrying about story or what's going on, but just write a short segment and think about how it sounds. Read it back aloud to yourself. Think about the cadence.
Read it aloud while you're writing it.
Yeah.
But don't try to deliberately use meter or anything.
Right. Or don't make it
It shouldn't be a poem.
Don't make it a poem. NotTube did a lot with word choice and word length. He varied the way in the two sections of his piece, or the frame and then the middle section.
Fast on the syllables.
Varied the way that the words were presented. In the frame, it was very clipped and short words. He uses a lot of assonance with similar vowel sounds paired together. I used a lot of alliteration and sort of recurring, and I tried very much to use words that not quite onomatopoeia but close. Hiss and splash for water.
Those are onomatopoeia.
There's another word from there called like psycho memes or something.
You're a psycho meme.
They're very common in Japanese actually.
Wow. that broke me.
On that
right.
note, I think that.
But anyway, no.
Yeah.
So, and I was trying to do things like associate colors, and I use a little bit of meter, a little bit of sort of rhyme embedded in the sentences. And I know NotTube did some stuff with meter in his too, just the way the sentences flowed, not necessarily rhyming, but repeated cadences and stuff. So, think in those terms and just try to write something that sounds pretty. And what we were talking about a little earlier is you don't necessarily want to write an entire story like this. You might. It might not be a bad thing to do. I've read stories like that. But you use it at particular points in a longer work where you really want to catch the reader's attention. Important sentences, epiphanies, endings, stuff like that. That's a great place to practice this.
It's interesting because I think you can use it where there's areas that it's prose and you need it there, like maybe a description, that sort of thing, where there's not a lot happening, but you can make that prose stand out and make it interesting to read, even if there's not a lot happening.
Right. It's a good thing. So anyway, give it a try. Cam Hirosaki distracted by his iPhone.
I'm trying to look at what that word is I'm thinking of.
That's all right. We'll do it for next time, or we'll post it with the episode.
Okay.
So,
I'm seeing the word idiophone pop up.
You're an idiophone.
Which, oh no, sorry, phenomime, not psychomeme.
Oh, it's not funny if I say that one.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
actually, you're an idiophone is funnier than you're a psycho meme.
Oh, no, so, yeah,
See,
yeah.
Those are all about, again, I mean, and this is all about writing. It's all about how the words sound.
Actually, I just confirmed psychomeme is an actual word as well. So I wasn't just making that up.
I didn't think you were making it up.
I'm the language guy on the show.
Is that like when you take What Muppet Are You and you get animal?
I'd probably be like Skeeter.
Skeeter or Scooter?
Scooter. Scooter's the boy. Damn it. I walked right into that.
You led yourself into it.
I meant Scooter. I haven't seen the Muppets in a long, long time. Give me a break.
I think I'd be one of the two critics. Waldorf.
Kit would be the other one.
Yeah, probably. They were gay.
Oh, yeah, they were like fabulous queens of, the 1920s kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this production is terrible. I did that with the wrist flick for
And
all
the
y'all
pink
at
shirt
home.
really sells it too.
Yes. Anyway, all right, we're digressing now. We're just sort of rambling on. So, thank y'all for listening. I am Kyle Gold. Write us at unsheathedpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us at Unsheathed on FA.
And I am Cam Hirosaki. Keep on sending in those letters. We're always glad to hear from y'all.
And I'm not Tube, and I have nothing to add.
Good night.